Hello, everyone. It is Monday, August 17th. Welcome to another episode of Together San Diego. I'm your host, Luis Cruz, Community Relations Director for the San Diego Union-Tribune. Well, we all know it's been a very challenging 5 months dealing with COVID-19. Families have been affected by job loss or cutbacks, leading to financial challenges. And kids are likely home all the time instead of at school. And people are probably spending more time together with their spouses than ever before. All of this can place a heavy burden on even the strongest marriages, but that's why we have some help today. We are joined this afternoon by Darren Carrington, marriage and family pastor for the Rock Church. Pastor Darren, thank you for joining me today.
Hey, thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Oh, it's my pleasure. So what are some practical tips and advice that you can offer to those who are experiencing some trouble in their marriages and family?
I think the first thing is it's a mindset change. A lot of people, they're trying to still, go as if things are normal, and things are not normal right now. So they need to figure out, okay, how do we recreate a new normal? How do they, in a sense, call an audible? And what's happening is that couples, they're becoming enemies of each other as opposed to becoming teammates. Like, they've gotten through tough things before, so now they got to realize, okay, we have to trust one another, and we have to figure out a new plan so that we can work together, right? We love each other, so you have to build on the things that have gotten you to where you are. So I think that's the first thing, the mindset. And then the second thing is to really just itemize all of the new things that needs to be handled, and to just really divvy them up. Again, understanding and knowing that we're a team, we're in this together. This won't always be like this. This is just a season. So let's navigate through the season, and we'll be better as a result of it.
Yeah, you alluded to that. For those that don't know, you were a former safety. You played 8 seasons in the National Football League for 5 different teams. You started in Super Bowl 29 for the San Diego Chargers, and you were with the Denver Broncos as a kick returner in Super Bowl 24. Now you're a marriage and family pastor for the Rock Church. Does your background in professional sports give you some sort of perspective as you help couples and families, and how does that help?
I think it does. As I talked about, coming up with a new plan. In football, we call that an audible. You have this plan, and then the opposing team, they do something different. So now you have to change on the fly. But the reason why, when you change on the fly, the reason why it works is because you trust each other and you practice the fundamentals. So a lot of these couples, they practice the fundamentals, and now they have to do something different. And then do something different. As long as you know, man, I can trust this person next to me, everything will run smooth. I think another way that it helps me is, being able to, in a sense, work under pressure. Sometimes it's not like football, right? Because there's not necessarily a clock on you. But I feel like, sometimes there seems like there's pressure situations, and, you always have the opportunity to prepare, right? So as long as you prepare for the situations, it's really about, okay, let's just some things you're going to succeed. Some things, hey, we're just not going to go down. Like, let's just get through this, and we'll figure out how to deal with it the next time.
Have you been approached by members of your church with people saying that they have, experienced more difficulties during this time?
Yeah, I mean, it's funny because, a lot of couples, their biggest complaint is, man, I wish we had more time together. You work too much, I work too much, we work too much, and now life has said, okay, hey, you're spending more time together. I think the problem is that, it's not, they didn't create it. Like, they're forced into this. So when couples ask me, I say, hey, you know what? You've asked for this. Now create a system within it so that you can take advantage of this time that you have together.
Yeah. There's often a stigma attached to asking for help or getting counseling, especially when it comes to marriage. Why is it important to seek help?
In life, at points, different people, they need help at different times. And even if you think about it, professional athletes who are the best of the best, they have coaches, right? So if they are professionals, they know it all. Why do they need coaches? Because everyone needs a little bit of help. And so I think the biggest thing that couples can do is remove the stigma, remove the whatever you heard about getting help. There's no stigma as far as getting help. It's like those that are wise, those that are smart, they get help so that they can be better as a result of it.
Yeah, that's some good advice there. What are some resources for people that need help?
Well, we have a resource, our sdrock.com/marriage, where you can get resources. We have a marriage enrichment that we have going every other week. We have 2 other events coming up. We have our military marriage event that's coming up this weekend on Saturday, and then we have a women's retreat that's coming up on the 28th. So there are ongoing things, we have at our church going on, because we know that there's probably not one thing that's going to solve all the issues. It's going to be over the time. That's what's going to help you the most.
Okay. All right. Well, being stuck at home with one another for hours on end can be challenging. What are some fun or creative ideas to have a socially distanced date night so that people can stay connected?
One of the things is that you can, for example, you have to look at your house, you have to look at your environment, and you create, a date night on the porch, right? You have to be creative. The World Wide Web is famous for a reason. So a lot of times you could go on there and find creative ways to, date nights on the porch, write each other a letter, a drive-in movie, kind of in the house. Or if you have an iPad, you take a drive around the block, around the neighborhood, and you have your iPad and you have some popcorn and you do something there. But, there's so many creative ways. We're just used to doing the norm. And now this is forcing us to get out of the norm and figure out different ways. And I feel like a lot of times if you plan something creative, it goes a lot further than just taking your wife to the movies and a dinner. Like if if a guy, wrote his wife a note and made a meal or made, a card or just made something, it shows them that you put more time into it, and it means so much more. So I feel like if you were to be creative, it would go a lot further than just the average ordinary date.
All right, good advice. You have, as we mentioned, we're on social media right now. We're on Facebook, we're on YouTube, we're on Twitter. Here's some comments that are coming in through Facebook. Your fan base here, Sup DC. That's from Rocio Stock. We have Brandon Harrison, who says great advice. Haiti, Brazil, so good.
Haiti. I know you think it's Haiti. That's what I thought.
Oh, it's Haiti?
Actually Haiti. It's Haiti, yes.
Good. Thank you for catching that. Brandon, again, with good point. We all do need a little coaching. We tend to forget that. We tend to forget that even professional athletes have coaches. So that's some very good advice. All right. On the flip side, though, when is it time to cut your losses, so to speak? I've been reading some stats, some very serious stats that showed 39% of all marriages will end in divorce. In 2018, there were more than 17,500 domestic violence incidents reported to law enforcement. That's just in San Diego County. And that was a 4% increase from the prior year. Do you ever say to couples, listen, you've worked on your relationships, but perhaps you're not meant to be together anymore?
The only time I say that to a couple is during premarital counseling. Like if they go through premarital and this seems like this is not a fit, then I will tell them there. But once they're married, unless there's like a dangerous situation where, someone's in danger, physically in danger, I will always put the onus back on them, because there's always things that people can do. The biggest danger in marriages is really is selfishness, right? Somebody knows what to do and they just won't change, right? So at some point, I always want the person is that you are the one that has to make the decision. I'm never going to make that decision for you, because we've seen relationships that people thought there's no way that this couple will ever make it, and by the grace of God, they made it. And that's another an advantage that we have, right? As believers, is we have Christ on our side. But you can't just use that as a lucky charm or rabbit's foot. You have to follow the plan. And when people follow God's plan, because it was his idea, marriage was God's idea. When people follow his plan, things have a tendency of working out. But when they don't follow his plan, now they're doing their own thing. That's when you run into pitfalls.
Okay. Now, couples therapy and marriage counseling is best if couples seek help sooner rather than later. Talk about that.
Yes. I always like the adage is, we all get our oil change, right? Every 3,000 to 5,000 miles. And the reason why we get our oil change is not because anything's wrong with our car. The reason why we get our oil change is because we want our car to run optimally, not just at the bottom. And that's what when couples on a regular basis, consistently, they go to enrichment, they have date nights, they appreciate each other, they encourage each other. When they're getting their oil change, if you will, ongoing maintenance, things have a tendency to run optimally. When they neglect it, when they take things for granted, right? When they say, I don't need to change my oil for 20, 30,000 miles, that's when they have issues. When that big issue that comes up, that could have been solved with one simple thing. And a lot of times what I've seen in my 12, 13 years as a marriage and family pastor is the issue that I'm seeing on day, after 5 years, that issue could have been solved 2 years ago had they taken it serious. So big issues are once upon a time was something small. So hit them when they're small.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. Marriage counseling can be highly beneficial to those struggling with PTSD, addiction, depression, anxiety, and childhood trauma. Talk about that. How is that?
That's a whole nother, that's another part of it is you have to, one of the biggest things that helps couples is becoming aware of the why, of why we're going through the challenges. Why am I feeling the way I'm feeling? Why am I processing the way I'm processing? And, what I've seen is not only the PTSD, that's been an issue, and I'm glad that there's been more awareness with that. But one of the things that couples are not aware of, people are not aware of, is their family of origin. I believe, this is my opinion, the reason why a lot of couples love the way they love and receive love the way they love, give love the way they love, forgive the way they do, is because of their family of origin, of what they've seen and how they grew up. And and I know that our family of origin is not always the best teacher, right? So once they become aware that the reason why am I the way I am, the excuses that a lot of times we hear from ourselves is, well, this is just how I am, right? So just deal with it, accept me who I am. Or people even say, well, this is how God made me. And if the way that you're living, the way that you're loving, the way that you're operating as a man or a woman, husband or wife, mom or dad, if it's not in alignment with the word of God, then God didn't make that. Sometimes people use that as an excuse of, if I say this is just how I am, I never have to change. And a lot of the reasons why we are the way we are is because we have adopted this behavior from our family of origin, and it's not always healthy. So once you become aware, now you have to begin to pray about it, and now you have to begin to change your behavior. And I've seen when people take those steps, they have very good results.
Yeah, I was going to say, some of us can be stubborn, and we do say that's just the way I am. What is that first step to try to change?
I would say that the first step is really having the desire to change, of asking yourself, of really kind of combing through things and saying, okay, why am I like this, right? And a lot of times, if you have someone close to you, they can tell you different things. Matter of fact, we have a team in Richmond, and I taught a workshop on family of origin. And one of the things that I talked about is the first step of it. The step in it is becoming aware of why you are the way you are, right? For example, I am people call me picky. I call myself selective, right? I'm a very selective eater. The reason why I feel I'm a selective eater is because I was the only child for 14 years, and I got to eat what I want when I want it, whenever I want it, right? My mom would hook me up, and I feel like that carried me into adulthood. So now I still have that, where I can eat whatever I want, when I want. And I'm not just like that. God didn't make me like that. My upbringing made me like that, right? I'm really calm. Why am I so calm? I thought back. Why am I so calm? Well, I saw growing up, my dad, he was really calm. I never heard him raise his voice. I never heard him, just go off. And I had to realize I've adopted those things. So becoming aware of things, especially when they're toxic, especially when they're not helping your marriage be successful, you have to get over yourself and say, man, I need to change.
Mm-hmm. Okay, some good advice there. I want to read up read a couple more stats here. According to the American Association for Marriage and Family Therapy, 98.1% of those surveyed had a good or excellent service, and 97.1% claimed they received the help they needed. More than 80% also claimed that couples therapy positively impacted their relationship. Talk to us about how you help folks over at the Rock Church.
Well, one of the ways that we try to help is we try to help them before they get married, right? It's like if you're going swimming, you want to make sure you know how to swim before you jump into the pool. And so we have a marriage prep class where we're preparing couples on how to be married, expectations, communication, understanding that conflict is normal. Man, that is huge. Is if you can understand conflict is normal, when conflict comes up, you don't freak out. You realize, hey, this is just part of our marriage and we're going to navigate through this. And, there are people who have studied the brain, studied the mind, studied people, studied how people respond in different situations. It's important that we allow those people, if needed, to give us that information, excuse me, to counsel us, right? And it's amazing what you know once you think you know it all, right? So those people who think they know it all, man, it's so much that they're going to learn from that point on. It will revolutionize and change their lives. So I feel like those are probably the main things that I see in how counsel helps.
Great. All right. For more information on the Rock Church Marriage Ministries ongoing resources, you can visit sdrock.com/marriage. Pastor Darren, is there anything else you'd like to add?
What else I would like to add? I feel like the wild card, if you would, is, we are selfish by nature, right? We want what we want when we want it. And the only way for us to get through that and get over that is to get over ourselves, and to know that there is something bigger than us. And that something bigger than us is that of what I saw and what I found was a relationship with Jesus Christ. And I feel like if people have an active relationship with Jesus Christ, their lives would change. And it's not just about going to church. It's not just about, following these rules. It's about allowing the Lord Jesus, the one who made you, the one who created marriage, to change your life and to show you how to be successful in every part of your life. So my encouragement would be is for people to get to know Jesus, forget the stereotypes, get to know him for who he is, and learn how much he loves you, an amazing plan he has for your life.
All right. And Pastor Darren, you're still helping people during this time, right? During COVID, people can still reach out to you and the church? 100%.
sdrock.com/marriage. They can go on there and get all types of resources. Like I said, we have an amazing event, for our military families this weekend. That's, we're always reaching out to military because that is an added challenge sometimes in regards to relationships. And then we have our women's event coming up on the 28th. So we're not going to stop. Just because our building's closed doesn't mean that we're going to close. God is the same yesterday, today, and forever. And as long as the internet is working, we will have resources 24/7, 365.
All right. That sounds great. Thank you so much, Darren Carrington, marriage and family pastor for the Rock Church. I appreciate your time.
Hey, thank you. I appreciate you. God bless you.
Thank you so much. And thank you at home for watching. Have a great day, everybody.
News is more important today than ever before.
I'm currently outside Otay Mesa Detention Center.
I'm about to get a report at Sharp.
Out at Sunset Cliffs.
COVID testing site.
We live for these times when we're able to bring the news into the homes of people who need it the most.
I thank all of you for supporting our work.
When you subscribe to the paper, you're telling us that you believe in what we do.